This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the Dunedin City Council is hoping 300 of its staff might take up a proposal to buy electronic bikes with a pay advance. Thousands of people are expected to turn up for a tulip farm open day this weekend to see 100 hectares of vibrant tulips. And one of the original Kingston Flyers from 1877 is back in action and giving the public a taste of good old-fashioned smoke and steam. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. The Dunedin City Council is hoping to get up to 300 of its staff back in the saddle in a proposal to give workers pay advances to buy e-bikes. The Council's Acting Transport Group Manager says staff approached management with the idea after seeing other cities offering the idea to their staff.
Hoping council staff will get on their bikes. E-bikes, that is. Dunedin City Council Acting Transport Group Manager Nick Sargent says staff approached the transport team with a proposal to help staff purchase e-bikes.
Mainly, and a number of staff drew our attention to the fact that other councils were doing it, like Tauranga. NZTA had also done it for their staff, so they asked us, why don't you do it for us?
Sargent says many people are promoting the benefits of riding electronic bikes as it gets them out of cars. And even though the bikes provide power-assisted cycling, it still means people are getting exercise and fresh air.
Clearly, from experience elsewhere, a range of people have jumped on e-bikes and found it provided them with a range of benefits, particularly health benefits.
He says the council is in the process of talking with local electronic bike suppliers with the hope of securing a mutually beneficial arrangement.
We've gone out to the market, asked an open question, and we'll see what responses we get.
It could be quite a good contract for them, to be the official e-bike supplier to DCC.
Absolutely, supplier to DCC and Otago Polytechnic are working with us as well, so could be quite a number of people that are interested.
The council hopes staff who take up the option will help promote a low-carbon, healthier transport option, as well as reducing road congestion and freeing up parking around the CBD. In Dunedin, The South Today.
The University of Otago has announced plans to build a new 7-storey hall of residence as a new home for Te Rangihiroa College. The construction of the 450-bed college is expected to cost around $90 million. At present, Te Rangihiroa, which opened 6 years ago, is located on the site of what is to become the new Dunedin Hospital. The new building is set to be constructed on the asbestos-plagued recording studio at Albany Street, owned by the University of Otago. The college will include over 100 ensuite rooms, as well as offices, a dining hall and kitchen. A university spokesman says the new building will match forecast increases in the number of school leavers. Construction of the building is set to start in 2021. Thousands of people are expected to turn up for a tulip farm open day this Labour weekend. 100 hectares covered with more than 30 varieties of vibrant and colourful tulips are set to be available for viewing at the Trifler Tulip Farm in Edendale on Monday.
Rows of colourful tulips growing just south of Gore near Edendale. Triflor Operations Manager Rudy Verplunk will be opening up his tulip fields for the public to admire this coming Labour Monday.
We got some vans driving the people around the paddocks. I like to ask the people to use those vans, otherwise all the roads around the district will be congested with cars, so please use those vans and you will be driven around the paddocks.
Verplunk's 10-hectare farm is the country's largest, supplying about a quarter of the 175 million tulip bulbs exported from New Zealand every year. And he's encouraging the public to make use of provided transport.
Only one day of the year we open to the public, and people can actually order the bulbs they see in the paddocks.
The annual event asks for a gold coin donation and serves as a fundraiser for the Edendale Presbyterian Church, Edendale Scouts and Wyndham Pioneer Lions Club.
This is our 14th year, so yeah, and we're still enjoying doing it, working together with our local community, with the local church, the scout group and other community organisations involved.
After Labour weekend, Edendale's tulip bulbs are set to be harvested and sent to the Northern Hemisphere in time for mid-autumn planting in countries across Europe and North America. In Edendale, the South Today.
Thousands of people took advantage of a beautiful spring day to visit the Selwyn District Spring Show at the weekend. Cattle made a welcome return to the Selwyn Spring Show at Leeston as cattle classes were cancelled at last year's show in the wake of the Mycoplasma bovis outbreak. However, many people were pleased to see beef and dairy cattle back at Leeston Showground. There were a host of other animal attractions at the show, including sheep and alpaca, along with a host of eels in a tank. In keeping with AMP shows, there were also tractor and historic vehicle displays at the 149th annual show. One of the original Kingston Flyers from 1877 is back in action and giving the public a taste of good old-fashioned steam power at Mandeville near Gore. The 142-year-old locomotive is now part of a heritage railway site, with open days offering short rides on the restored train.
As good as new, this K92 locomotive was built in 1877 in the United States as one of 8 ordered by the New Zealand Railways. In the 1920s, this engine was written off and used as fill in an Oreti River stop bank near Lumsden. After 3 days of digging in 1985, the K92 was retrieved and restored by rail enthusiasts and is now part of a growing heritage project near Gore.
So we've reinstated the old Mandeville Yard, and we've got the old original Kingston Flyer here, and we've borrowed this carriage for the moment from Kingston until we get our other one refurbished.
The locomotive is one of 3 which once sped across the Waimea Plains at up to 100 kilometres per hour, and they were named the Flyer.
That's the original loco. Yeah, there were 3 of them originally. They were all branded with the same name, right? But they operated both from Gore to Kingston and Invercargill to Kingston.
It's been a long labour of love to create what is hoped will become the basis of a park showcasing the heritage of days gone by.
It's taken us nearly 10 years, or well, actually more than that, to accumulate what we envisaged we'd like to happen at Mandeville, and that is to out of nothing generate a heritage railway precinct.
The Waimea Plains Railway Trust are planning to have the K92 locomotive pulling old carriages on a 2.5 kilometre loop around Gore's Croydon airfield. In Gore, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, university students are targeted in a series of PlayStation thefts, and we have the latest edition of Global Insight with International Relations Specialist Professor Robert Patman. So see you after the break.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Welcome back. Students are being advised to double-check the security of their homes after a series of PlayStation thefts in the past month. 5 PlayStation 4s have been taken from student flats around Harbour Terrace and Lee Street in the past 4 weeks. Police say the majority of thefts happened during the daytime as early as 10:30 a.m. Police are advising anyone who had seen anything suspicious around the area to contact them. Violent protests in Chile have profound implications for all countries, including New Zealand, Professor Robert Patman says. The Dunedin-based international affairs expert says mass protests in the formerly stable South American nation are a global warning to governments about the dire consequences of unchecked inequality.
Welcome, I'm Bruce Munro, and with me is international relations specialist Professor Robert Patman, and this is Global Insight. For 3 decades, the country of Chile has been South America's good news story, but that seems to have come to a violent end. Welcome, Robert.
Good morning, Bruce.
For years, Chile had stability, but now there's been large demonstrations and violent demonstrations. What went wrong in Chile?
I think short-term and long-term factors. I think there's been a crisis waiting to happen in Chile for some time. The country's gone through austerity. It's had mounting inequality. The country's done very well. It's the 5th most prosperous economy in Latin America. But the share, the distribution of that wealth has remained remarkably uneven. And the short-term trigger was about 2 weeks ago, there was an attempt to increase metro prices. And that led to an explosive reaction, and what started out as protests against increase in prices of metro travel has quickly escalated into a range of protests right across the country to take into issues such as mounting inequality. And so that's the background really. It's a convergence really of long-term discontent, factors making for long-term discontent, and short-term triggering, once again, price rises, and many people feeling that a relatively small elite have done very well out the current situation.
How is that playing out now?
Well, it's playing out now because what's happened is, as you indicated in your opening remarks, something like 5,000 people have been detained through participating in protests. 15 people have been killed. It's a serious situation, clearly. Armed soldiers have been on the streets, and President Sebastián Pinero made a bit of a blunder on Monday when he spoke about a war going on with people on the streets. He's rowed back that comment now, and on Tuesday he had a meeting with some opposition leaders, and he's produced a social contract package. Amongst other things, he's promising to institute a minimum wage, raise state pensions, and also adjust the tax rate so the better off pay more tax. And I think what the government's now hoping with this social contract initiative, which is just being tabled, it will diffuse some of the riots and protests we've seen.
What's the implications for the international community, including New Zealand?
I think they're profound. And I think Chile has demonstrated once again that in a globalised era where people are more and more interconnected through communications, discontent, whether it be over an unfair distribution of political power, such as we're seeing in Hong Kong, people protesting about the prospect of one party monopolising power, or an unfair distribution of economic power, can lead to explosive consequences. In a sense, people who are disadvantaged in the 21st century have more means to express their discontent. And so even a country which has been doing well like Chile by Latin American standards, nevertheless, economic growth every year doesn't, unless how should I put it, is distributed to a wider audience, wider number of people, it could still sow the seeds of an uprising. And that's apparently what's occurring. In many respects, Pinero represents what is wrong in the eyes of the protesters with Chile. He was the person who introduced, he's a right-of-centre politician, he's a billionaire, he's a person who introduced the first credit card into Chile, made his fortune that way, and I think he's recognised that the current situation, and he said so quite explicitly in a televised broadcast, the current situation is not sustainable and there has to be a greater share of Chile's wealth amongst its people. So if he can make good, if he can walk the talk, then I think there's a chance that Chile can avert a continuing confrontation. I think it's important that Chile does avert that confrontation because, as many of us are aware, it was only 3 decades ago that Chile threw off a military dictatorship led by General Pinochet and moved towards liberal democracy. And it'll be a shame if a liberal democracy cannot resolve this issue in a way that's more equitable and fairer to more people.
Thanks, Robert. And thank you for watching. Catch us next time on Global Insight. Ciao.
And you can view the full interview with Professor Patman online at odt.co.nz. And after the break on The South Today, we check out the kapahaka skills from South Canterbury Early Childhood Education Centres in Timaru. And we have the weather leading into the weekend, so stay with us.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Miller's Flat Bakery, proudly opening this Labour weekend after a long labour of love. The Restoration Trust has brought back to life this historic part of the main Central Otago transport route. Come see the only wood-fired bakery oven in New Zealand. Turn off at the Miller's Flat Blue Bridge and bring the whole family to enjoy some tasty fresh baked goods the old-fashioned way, before electricity. That's the Miller's Flat Bakery opening Labour weekend.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Thanks for staying with us. Early childhood education centres showcased their skills at Korohi o Te Pepe in Timaru recently. 19 early childhood education centres from around South Canterbury took part in the Kapahaka and Performing Arts event.
Toru Wha. Children from early childhood centres across South Canterbury showing their style at Korohi o Te Pepe, held at the Caroline Bay Hall in Timaru.
So it's fabulous here to have the ECEs supporting our kaupapa of te reo and waiata, and having an understand of te ao Māori.
Arowhenua Whānau Services Kaiwhakahaere, or manager, Maria Parrish, says the children are our future and they can lead the way.
We feel that having the tamariki here, they are the voices. They learn, they have the education within their ECE.
Parrish says the event was a success, with many social agencies supporting the day, making it the biggest festival yet.
We have a lot of other providers out in South Canterbury that deliver education on healthy eating, healthy learning.
Korohi o Te Pepe began in 2015, and organisers say it's an excellent opportunity for tamariki and rangatahi to celebrate Te Ao Māori, otherwise known as the World of Māori. In Timaru, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The Dunedin City Council is hoping to get up to 300 of its staff back in the saddle in a proposal to give workers pay advances to buy e-bikes. Thousands of people are expected to turn up for a tulip farm open day this Labour weekend to see 100 hectares of vibrant and colourful tulips. And one of the original Kingston flyers from 1877 is back in action and giving the public a taste of good old-fashioned steam power near Gore. And time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig Page. What have you got for us?
Good evening. Yeah, we've got a story about some big changes in the wind for the ID Fashion Show in Dunedin. Of course, 20 years it's been running now. Confirmation it's going to be split into two. It's a midwinter show for emerging designers and a summer event for established designers, and they're hoping that later event's going to return to the railway station as well. Of course, it's been in the town hall and region in recent years. The thing behind the move is to use the emerging designers to attract people to the city during a tourism off-season, and while having the railway station in February is going to provide a warmer show, I guess, for that time of year as well. Concerns from organisers that it's been two key events and it's kind of attracts different markets, so they're hoping to split that up and sort of cater for separate markets, I guess, with that show. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes, but as I say, it's been going 20 years, so I guess time to make some subtle changes to it.
It'll be interesting, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Two shows.
Yeah, and also another story which is going to cause a bit of discussion is public art. The DCC is announcing it wants a new piece of public art installed in the Octagon, and seeking expressions from artists and designers as well, set aside $65,000 for it. They're hoping it's going to be part of a collection that they can build on over the next 10 to 15 years around the city. Previous public art installations caused plenty of debate, of course. If you
I was going to say, it's just ripe for controversy, isn't it?
Harbour Molars is a classic case there. So yeah, pretty subjective public art, so it's going to again cause plenty of discussion and reaction around the city in coming weeks. And sport and racing bumper lift out tomorrow as well. Plenty on in the big semi-final World Cup weekend. The AB's named with Steve Hansen going for a bit more size in his forward pack today, with Scott Barrett named at blindside banker and Sam Kane on the reserves to provide a bit of impact off there. So plenty of reading in that respect as well.
Great, go the ABs.
Yes,
Thank you for that. And you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, it's always good to ask for help when you need it. Looking at the situation, cold southwesterly airflow will ease steadily tomorrow and turn around rather quickly to a warm weekend with northwesterly airflow increasing. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are set for grey skies and 14 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect a cloud or two and 18 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, you will have some cloudy skies across this area. Kaikoura, you should reach 13. Christchurch, you're set for 12, and Ashburton, you can also expect a cloud or two and 13 degrees. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect decreasing southwesterlies and skies clearing to become fine, with 11 degrees for you all. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes region, plan for skies clearing here too. Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandria, you should all expect 12 degrees, while Te Anau, you're set to reach 11. Up to the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru, it's fresh southwesterlies and cloudy skies for you both, and a high of 11 degrees. It will be a bit better inland with Twizel and Amarama becoming fine and sunny with 12 degrees for you both. In Dunedin, showers tonight with strong gusty southwesterlies and a wintry overnight low of 5 degrees. Mostly cloudy with a risk of scattered light showers tomorrow before becoming fine, sunny and mostly dry. Plan for a high of 11 and a low of 6. And what a turnaround for Saturday with mostly sunny skies, high cloud increasing late in the day, looking at a high of 21 and a low of 14. And in Invercargill, wintry showers tonight with strong, very cold southwesterlies and an overnight low of 4. Showers clearing with sunny periods increasing during the afternoon tomorrow. Strong cold southwesterlies will decrease, a high of 10 and a low of 5. And it's fine with cloud increasing on Saturday and warmer northwesterlies, freshening rain developing at night, a high of 18 and a low of 11. And that's all from the South Today team this Thursday. For the latest news from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. See you again tomorrow. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.